All right, here we are for round two. Um, really, really disappointed that we don't have an island here. Like, be pretty thrilled about this hand with one island, but I think we just mulligan. If instead of this trade win, well, trade wins is really good with this schematic, but instead of this trade wins, I had like a, if I had like a black improvised card or something, maybe I could keep this, but I think we mulligan. Also, our deck kind of revolves around some all of our double blue rares, so keeping a hand without islands, like, we're not, ooh, pretty insane start from an opponent. I'm not that likely to win the game without double islands, so if I keep a hand without it, like, a lot of the ways I can come back into the game are confiscation coup. So I actually like mulliganing. Skyship Plunder is pretty good with the Salvager if I can get a way of getting a counter on it. Currently don't really have that except for the Hornet. But I have a pretty sick curve here of Hornet into Coup into Whale. It's pretty good. The Dragster is annoying here, but actually, since my late game hand is so good, I'm actually in a spot where I'm almost happy that he's gonna have to sack this because he loses so much board presence. He's gonna lose so much board presence when this dies. I mean, maybe if he's got an insane revolt card, I need to be careful here. He could have like a harpoonist or something. I think I just don't attack. The 2 damage, my hand is just so sick that the 2 damage is irrelevant. If I walk into harpoonist, that would be pretty bad for me. He gets to draw 2 cards, kill my plunderer, and then also tap something. So let's just play like a little tight magic here. Like, my hand's just so sick. I don't think there's any reason for me to attack. Harpoonist might, the one thing about Harpoonist is it might be good later. But the other thing about this play is I have a 2/2 and a 2/3. I can represent a double block on the Dragster. So he might like have to tap pre-combat or use a removal spell. Looks like he's going to attack, which is a good play from him. I don't think many times, I can't block many times here, but just the threat of having a 2/2 and a 2/3 means that even if my opponent is bluffing, he can't make this bluff all the time. Like, sometimes your opponent will just give up. If I double block, it's very possible he only kills Hornet and then plays like some sort of revolt card. But I think I'm just going to take it because this thing is getting off the board. I have a confiscation coup to steal anything that costs 4 or less that he could possibly play. This is kind of stupid because he can still use the harpoonist on this. So I don't know why I was saying I was playing around that. That just makes no sense, obviously. Mostly so I could double block that thing, but I did not choose to do that. He does have a harpooner. That's so sick. Nothing really I can do here about that. Don't really have a good confiscation coup target either. I think I'll probably just take his array. Give me 2 extra energy. Yeah, not a great play by me, but no, I think not attacking is right, but the reasoning was wrong. If that makes any sense whatsoever. I kind of want to take the SRAM, but I think if he had any more vehicles, he would have played them already. There's a vehicle. That's pretty annoying, honestly. I do have the tapper for it, though. We'll just block. I like reducing him off the crew. It's kind of a strange attack, honestly. Yeah, don't love my spot here. I could have waited, but getting the stealing his pacification array was going to be a problem. Like, the whale doesn't really do that well against the pacification array for the most part. Though the SRAM is really scary because it can just draw him cards for a while. Rebuke is likely to be dead soon. There you go, responder. Okay. Don't really love where this game is going. Mostly the Harpooner was an insane swing. I'm just going to counter literally anything here because I think that I'm going to end up in a tough spot if I don't. Like, the Rebuke's just going to be dead in my hand forever, basically. Playing a tiny bit sloppy. The whole Harpooner thing, it wasn't sloppy, it was just my reasoning was just bad. Like, I just forgot that he could do it anyway. I don't know what I was thinking. Possibly should have just double blocked that, the Dragster. He wouldn't have drawn 2 cards off that. Though it's just so bad for me. If he's got a pump spell, he kills both my guys. Or a removal spell. He kills both my guys and draws 2 anyway. Whale? I think I play the whale and just take 6. Otherwise, this is going to be stuck in my hand forever. And once I untap with it, I'm in really good shape, I think. Taking 6 is not pleasant, but there's not really much I can do. I can't really wait till I have 2 more lands because he can just, my tapper is really bad because if I don't play anything, he can just go to combat and I can't tap anything otherwise he gets the Crusher. There is a tiny argument here for trading, but I think it's bad, especially because I have the schematic which can just chump. And if I trade, then the responder is really annoying, so. Oh, Restoration Gearsmith on the Dragster. Opponent's deck is quite good. Both my opponent's deck have been really good, honestly. Mostly just the SRAM. I mean, even though it's not that impactful, like just the drawing card, like every other turn drawing some cards is just so rough. Cogwork Assembler or Servo Schematic? Oh, man. Oh, God, this is so bad, isn't it? Maybe I'll play Schematic, because I might need to chump this turn. I can tap this. This Dragster is so annoying. I guess I just play the 2-3. Don't think it really matters. It's a little better because if I draw an expensive spell I want to play, I don't have to play the Schematic next turn. God, the Dragster is really, really annoying. He can't attack with anything other than the Dragster, though, which is nice. He's got so many cards, though. Yeah. I think I'm dead here. Don't really think there's much I can do. He just has too much stuff. I'm at too low of a life total. Not double blocking the Dragster was, well, I don't know. If I double block the Dragster and it works, it's obviously great. But if it doesn't work, I basically never win that game. Sure. I need to draw a creature that can let me double block with the... I'm at 2 life now, though. Like, how am I ever supposed to win this game? I need to draw, like, Gifted Etherborn or something. I think that's my only out. Yeah, okay. Wait, actually, I don't know if he's got enough crew stuff to actually kill me. Need to actually awkwardly play out land, because if I draw land, I want to be able to tap and play Assembler, or I don't know if I'll live, but one of my outs is him just not seeing it. I might be dead. If he just attacks with everything, I'm dead, right? No, because I can tap. Yeah, he crews. I can't do anything about that. I could tap this in response, actually, and then I'm not dead, right? I think actually I'm not dead. I think what he was supposed to do was to just go to combat. If I went to combat, he was just dead. If he went to combat, I was just dead. Because I can't tap anything. He just crews in response. Okay, well, yeah, that's game. Pretty brutal. Opponent's deck is so nice, though. I like Dispersal Technician. He's got a bunch of vehicles. I think I can keep cutting the implement, and maybe it's wrong, but just 5 mana draw 2 is just not good. I like Trade Winds, because it can actually interact with vehicles kind of well. Ballista Charger could be good, too. He showed me some X1s. He showed me the Poisoner and the 3-1. It is pretty slow, though. And I have a lot of 5-drops already. It could be better than the Trade Winds. I don't have that many great ways of crewing it, is the thing. So I think I'm just going to run this. Could definitely be right. Oops. Alright, let's see. Once again, we lost game 1. There's the Trade Winds, which works a little bit with the schematic. It's not great or anything, but it's not bad. I really wish I had a Thriving Turtle. Maybe I should have drafted more turtles, honestly. The turtles are like really good in my deck. Though, I guess they're only good if I draw like Eel or Whale. Yeah, just that, at least I'm well set up to deal with this. I actually think I'm going to play the Poisoner here. Get the Servo Train rolling. That Harpoonist, just the like everything that happened that game was bad for me. The SRAM I couldn't deal with. That's the one thing with this deck, I have no spot removal. Ooh, a Cruel Finality. That's pretty gross. Now I have no way of spending all this energy. Though it's possible he's attacking with this? Seems like he could always wait because he can threaten Revolt cards. Maybe he's got an Improvise card in his hand, actually. I think I'm going to just play the Assembler so I can rebuke whatever he plays next turn. My hand isn't great, but if I get to 7, I can make a 1/1 every turn. And if I draw a Salvager before then, it's pretty absurd, because then I get like 2 1/1s per turn. Ooh, he's sacking that. So he's definitely going to be playing something here. Let's see what it is. A 3/3 flyer, maybe? Decommission. I think I will counter that. I think that if I draw lands here, I really want to have a payoff. And I'm also ahead on board, which is kind of bizarre, honestly. Since I've done nothing but play like a 2/3, a schematic, and a 1/1 for 2. Opponent just had not the fastest draw. Mine Rot, alright. I mean, it's obviously a good card against me. Ooh, Salvager. That's a pretty sick pickup. Do I want to run this into a Impeccable Timing? I think I just attack with both, because if he's got timing, he'll probably hit the Eel. I just clicked through the pump there. I think I should have probably pumped. I think I am gonna sack the schematic. No, because I need it for this guy. I should have maxed him there. I just clicked through it. I should have dealt him 4 damage. That's pretty annoying. Okay, now we might lose. Fair enough. I do have Confiscation Coups in my deck though, so it's not the end of the world. And if I draw another land, actually, we can kind of start going off. Super wish that I had dealt him 4, of course. Angel of Invention. Wow, my opponent's deck is really, really good. Maybe these draft leagues are just kind of soft, because my deck ended up being really good as well. But mostly it's because the people to my left and right opened blue rares when they weren't in blue. Ugh. Alright, now I really need a Confiscation Coup. Or a Whale. Alright. Pretty sick draw. Maybe even a better draw than the Coup. I like this because now I can just start making 1/1s every turn if I draw a land. If he has removal, it doesn't do anything. You know, I still get to just block. Though, the Angel of Invention is kind of annoying. Eventually I'll draw Coup, though. Okay, him doing nothing is good. Because it means any land I draw is just so good. I just get 2 1/1s and a counter on this guy, so it's a pretty nice synergy there. Oh, he's got removal? Oh, okay. He probably didn't realize that he had to do that before. That actually is pretty bad for me, because now, like, I don't just have the win. I don't have I don't have inevitability. But I actually, like, I do have 2 confiscation coups in my deck, so I do have some amount of inevitability. Hornet. That just kills his entire team? Okay. Unless he's got pump for the Angel. I was going to say, I can actually start attacking with Whale because it has pseudo-vigilance. But this just kills his entire team. So I think we actually just... We don't need any of these 1/1s anymore. Yeah. This isn't great against removal, but I don't see any reason not to sack these servos. I wish I didn't miss that damage before. He can block the eel. Oh no, this guy's a 1/2 right now. If I didn't miss that damage before, he would have been forced to block, but the game's just over. I had a lot of good draws, to be fair. When I said I don't have inevitability, like I had the Hornet, which I didn't realize. I have like either of these confiscation coups in my deck, which I guess we're both in the top 4 cards. Yeah, schematic salvager cog work, especially when I have self-assembler to like I have 2 of each of the schematics and the salvagers, and then I have basically 2 of the assemblers because 2 of the cog works because I have the tutor. It's pretty nice. I think I want Subtle Strike now that I've seen that he has Angel of Invention. Even if he makes it a 4/3, I can kill it with the trigger on the stack, which is pretty nice. So I think I'm going to cut the trade wins for it. Mine Rod is kind of scary. I need to be careful against that. Dispersal Technician might not be worth it on the draw. But I think it is good against a lot of his good draws. Yeah, our mana base is not great. Even 1 swamp this hand would be solid, but 2 swamps is too many. Wow, that's tough. How likely are we to draw into another swamp? I think I should bottom. I think I need lands. But I already have a Tidy Conclusion in my hand, so if I don't draw another swamp, can I win? His deck's pretty fast. I think I should just top it and hope. Like, if I draw... the problem is if my next 2 lands are islands, I'm just going to lose. But if I just draw a swamp on turn 2, like on this next turn, it's so helpful. Oh gosh. Okay, well, we got pretty lucky. Not that lucky because we have 7 swamps, but I think I will just block his guy. I don't think it makes much sense to like take 3 and then deal him 2 every turn. And not to mention, he's got Revolt cards, and they're probably like the later the game goes on, the better those are. Ooh, Poisoner. Well, I have the schematic for that. I think I'm going to play this schematic first before I play the Poisoner. Last time he just attacked into it, which was kind of weird. Pillar Bug? Ooh, no land. Okay. Alright, well, if I can hit land here, I can play Barricade, or the Barricade Breaker next turn, which is super nice. If he attacks with his Poisoner, I can't actually block, which is a little annoying. Oh, wow. It's a super aggressive play. Though I guess it's actually not that aggressive. He probably just has no other play. So I think I have to take it because I want to play the Barricade Breaker. If I draw land, and I did. So now actually, I don't really want to trade the Poisoner for his Servo. So actually, his play was pretty good. Like getting the... Now I can't really attack. Though I could play Breaker. What is that bad at? He can just tap it. He can just block it with his Poisoner. So I don't think there's that much of a reason to play the Breaker. I don't know why I was so excited about that. It's possible I should have just thrown my Poisoner in front of his. No, he tapped it. No, he didn't tap it. Yeah, I probably should have blocked his Poisoner. This was pretty bad, honestly. But we're in the same situation as always, where our deck's just so powerful that we want to kind of just do whatever it takes to not die. And my opponent's stuck on lands, and I have a bunch of spells I can cast. Like, for instance, if I just draw an expensive spell next turn and not a land, I can then attack with the Poisoner and play Breaker, but I like getting the eel down. Murray. Look at this fish. What a beautiful creature. Truly gorgeous. Opponent not here. Kind of want to draw lands over spells, though. Still in pretty solid shape if I draw spells, because there aren't that many spells I can draw at this point that I can't cast. Like, yeah, like, the only ones I can't cast are, like, Coup and Whale. But we're at the point in the game where the game is definitely going to go long enough for me to eventually draw land. So, like, drawing those is fine. And if I draw any cheap spells, too, obviously I can play them. And they might even help me play, like, Breaker or whatever. Wonder if I'm DC'd? I think I'm okay. Let me check my internet. Okay, he's here, and we get our energy. Fortunately, since he's got his own Poisoner, I don't think my energy is going to do anything this game. Okay. I think if I draw a land, we'll play the Self-Assembler before playing the Barricade Breaker. I wouldn't mind him trading his Poisoner for my Self-Assembler for me to follow up with the Breaker. Also, playing the Assembler prevents me from, like, drawing the... Like, I can at any point draw the other Self-Assembler, or the Assembly Worker, in which case we essentially lose a draw step, which would be kind of ugly, especially in a game that we're so far ahead. He could have an Angel of Invention, which could be something to play around. But as long as I have the Tidy Conclusion in hand, I'm pretty happy. Like, obviously I don't want him to play an Angel, but we're prepared for it. He's thinking no attacks. Makes sense. Drew another Poisoner, which is kind of interesting, because now I can attack with my Poisoner and play the Barricade Breaker, I think. Problem is then his Poisoner gets in, which isn't that big of a deal. He's going to trade for Servo. The Barricade Breaker just runs into his Poisoner, though, which I really dislike. So maybe the play is to just play my Poisoner and pass. I don't really have a way of getting this off the board. Like, I'm not going to use my Tidy Conclusions on it. I'm in no rush to really play the Breaker. If I draw a Subtle Strike or something, I can deal with it cleanly. So I'll just play the Poisoner and pass. No real reason to do anything else. Also, playing the Poisoner, like, he can't use his Pacification Array aggressively now, really. Like, I have too much blockers. And if he does, now that I have 2 Poisoners, like, he needs to make sure he can block them both. Otherwise, I have enough energy where I get a free 1/1 if he never blocks the Poisoner at some point. Opponent, I think, is like double queuing or something. Sorry about this. Kind of annoying. My opponent probably thinks he can't win, so he's just not really paying attention that much, which makes my job quite difficult. I kind of know what's going on in this game, but it's probably going to take me a while to close it out. Game might take a while. If he takes too big of a time chunk hit, it could just be too much for him to win at that point. All right, he's back. We're just going to pass. Make sure he actually has priority when he's actually looking at this game. Another one? Okay. None of this really does much, as long as I have the Shipwreck in play. I could maybe afford to attack with both Poisoners next turn. It's not a real great reason to do that, other than I get some servos and I'm trading off the board, but it's not like if he was playing red and had access to like Falter or something, I'd be much more likely to make that kind of play. But since I have the Self-Assembler, Cogwork Assembler, Inevitability / the rares in my deck, I think we're fine just putzing around here for a bit. Opponent might legitimately time out. Like, thinking about how he's going to win this game at this point, it's going to take him so long. He does have the Pacification Array, which is obviously going to be good once we get to the later stage of this game. We're kind of stuck in a mid game where we're both just playing cheap creatures that don't really impact the ability to attack or anything. Maybe he's thinking about attacking. He doesn't have an attack right now that I can see. I mean, the Murray doesn't block that well. Like, it can only just bounce off something. So he could push with like Pillar Bug, Poisoner, Infiltrator if he wanted to. Nope, no attacks. My turn. Draw another servo schematic. Okay. Not really great against the double audacious infiltrator field, but does allow me to play breaker next turn for sure. He could have a revolt card here, but nothing that's too bad. Like, he could have the 3/3 flyer. I think that this trade is just going to happen eventually anyway, whether it's me attacking or him attacking, so I actually don't mind the attack. I don't mind that. He's going to tap the fish, maybe? Yeah, see, this trade is just going to happen eventually, so I actually really like just blocking there. Especially when the less mana he has, the less ability he has to punish me with revolts. I am going to play the Assembler before the Breaker. The Breaker can possibly be even cheaper next. Like, I can go Cogwork, Assembler, and Breaker next turn. He could actually maybe get me with Mind Rot here. I need to remember that he has that, though. I think the best thing I can do is just play all the cards from my hand as fast as possible. Yep, this is going to happen eventually, so we just make it happen. It's kind of risky, but I'm in the point where he keeps missing land drops. I can just start attacking. Like, I think this turn I'll attack with my Assembler. He's got a Harpooner. Okay, so we get punished. We get punished. But I just don't want to take damage. I think I'm going to win this late game. Could still maybe lose to a Mind Rot, but I feel pretty reasonable about my spot. I have Assembler plus Schematic if I flood out, which is nice. I can get underneath the Mind Rot by just by playing all my spells. So let's see. 3 for the Cogwork. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'd have to tap out. So actually I'm not going to attack with the Assembler. Well, he's going to probably... Well, he might not block with the Poisoner, actually. He might wait. I guess I could play Assembler. I could play all 3. Actually, that plays around Mind Rot the best. I think I'll just play all 3. He gets to kill my Breaker with his Poisoner, which is obviously unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, I had no line on dealing with this anyway. Other than the Poisoner, like all my other creatures are artifacts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana, -1. Okay. So, yeah. Just play this. Play this. Then we play this. We pass. Now we don't care about Mind Rot. If he wants to make a really aggressive attack this turn... My Thriving Rhino starts triggering. And I have the Tidy Conclusions as well. He's got a Feldar Guardian on the Harpooner. That's gross. That kills my Cogwork Assembler. Yeah, we might just lose this, honestly. Though we have lots of good draws still. I think I just kill the... I think I actually want to get aggressive now. Though, if he's got an Angel of Invention, I might lose to it. Right. 2. I'm really stuck between a rock and a hard place here. If I don't kill a Poisoner, I can just hold on to the Tidy forever and he can't really attack. I basically need to draw one of my big spells to eventually win. But the Angel of Invention doesn't kill me right away. I have several turns to draw Confiscation Coup. This is actually almost impossible for me to figure out. I mean, he only has Angel of Adventure. I don't know how often he has it. He's going to have it like half of the time, if not a little bit more, because it makes a low land hand a better keep when you have something that insane. The problem I see with killing the Poisoner is that he can just, like, block... Well, he doesn't actually have good blocks, really, on the Barricade Breaker. Yeah, let's just go for it. I have plenty of good draws I can hit. I gain a bunch of life off this. If he's got an Angel, I have 2 coups. Like you saw last game. The question is, do I attack with the Turtle this turn? He probably will double block it, which is pretty unfortunate. Yeah, maybe this is bad. I don't know. This is tough for me to say. Like especially because once he plays the Angel, he can trade off with the Breaker with any 2, like Servo plus Harpooner or whatever kills it. And he's not at a low enough life total where I can afford to attack with the Turtle. He'll just double block it. So I actually don't like my spot. I was talking about how much I like my spot, but really, like, I mean, that last turn, him killing my assembler, like, I didn't think that he could, like, advance his board and kill my assembler at the same time. It's possible I should, like, I guess he could eventually have tapped it. But the other thing is, we know he's got Mind Rot in his deck, so I didn't like a line that would let me, I didn't want to, you know, construct this line where he just Mind Rots my assembler and my Tidy Conclusions and I'm screwed. But yeah, not having the assembler hurts, because now any lands are just bricks as opposed to being like essentially 1/1s every turn. Opponent might time out, which I would accept. Like, obviously I don't want to win by timeout, but I also just don't really enjoy playing against somebody that's double queuing. I still believe that, like, they should play leagues where when you're in a league, you should only be able to play in the league. Or they should have leagues where, like, there's queue. This is actually, like, obviously not a solution they'll ever do, but where there's a queue, you can only queue in this queue if you're multi-queuing, or you can only queue in this queue if you're single queuing. That way, like, all the multi-queuers just have to play against each other, which I think would be karmic justice. Maybe not karmic, maybe not justice either. Maybe that's a bad word. Think that maybe he'll just time out. But we have 23 cards in our deck. We have 2 Confiscation Queues. We have the Foundry Hornet. We don't have the Assembler anymore, but even if we draw either of our Defiant Salvagers are good draws, because it turns my schematics into relevant cards. Also, we have our opponent's Clock. Still. Opponent's deck is very good. Like, it's weird, though. Like, you can kind of see how Synergy's good. Like, I talked about it in my article. You can kind of see in this game how Synergy's good, right? Like, I had all these cards that work together, like the Clockwork Assembler, you know, that he was pretty much forced to kill. Like, all this energy could have been really good with my Aether Poisoners. Then my opponent, well, had a kind of a disjointed draw. Like, he put pressure on me, and then he played, like, Harpooner, Felidar Guardian, you know, like, which was really insane for him. Like, kept him in this game forever. If you just have it like a generic deck, a generic beatdown deck would have just gotten slaughtered by either of our decks, I think. Maybe it could have beat his, but he still had, you know, Harpooner, Felidar Guardian. So maybe if he wasn't the aggressor, that wouldn't have worked. It looks like my opponent's been clocking for 2 minutes, so I think he's just going to clock out, which is unfortunate because I don't feel like 100% to win this game or anything. What? No. Question is, do I attack with the turtle? I don't think I can. Maybe I should have. If he's got Angel of Invention here, he can definitely win. I don't really want to trigger his Revolt, so I think I'll just take 2 for now. Let's see what he's got. Well, yeah, he's got 3-drop plus... He's got 3-drop plus array. The question is, do I guess I just bounce his servo. I'm probably going to have to trigger his revolt soon. I could bounce actually my servo schematic, but that's just strictly worse than bouncing his servo, I think. I'm actually going to play this land out. It doesn't really do much, but if he has an implement, of Malice, which we haven't seen, that can be quite annoying. Just going to attack with this. I think I'm just going to block with my servos. If he's got a revolt card, I don't want to take a bunch of damage. Like, there aren't that many revolt cards that are that bad. The worst one is like the flyer, I guess. It's Vengeful Rebel. That's the worst one. But I needed to make that block eventually, essentially. I think I do swing with this. Trade for the Rebel. Well, I guess no, I can just block. Blocking is better, I think. Yeah, not in great shape here. Could definitely win if we draw a Confiscation Coup. Question is, what do I coup? He's going to tap. Wow, he's going to start tapping on his turn. That's pretty aggressive. Draw Foundry Screecher. That's pretty good. Blocks the responder. I have a lot of good draws. Even if I draw Defiant Salvager, like, Defiant Salvager is really good here. He drew an Angel. Drew a Dawnfeather Eagle. Okay. Actually not that bad for me. The question is, can I afford to chump here? Saves me 4 damage. Yeah, I think one of the ways I win this game is by... lose this game is by taking too much damage here. Though the double flyer is pretty annoying. I'm going to need to draw something. It's a pretty frustrating end of this game. Not quite dead. Not quite dead, but the screw beats the flood eventually. Opponent's deck is quite good. Ooh, he did make this into... I guess I'm just screwed. Even Confiscation Coup doesn't save me, I don't think. Defiant Salvager, yeah, that's game. I think I should have actually traded... I think I should have actually not blocked the Rebel, because part of the way I win is by drawing like a land creature to like unlock my schematic, or to Salvager to unlock my schematics. But it's not like I could have blocked through the Angel. But yeah, good games. Opponent's deck very good. Kind of disappointing end, but kind of annoyed I had to wait 10 minutes to just lose, which I kind of felt like it would happen. Like I said, if he had an Angel, like I didn't really have a good line on it. I think maybe if I kept my tidy conclusions, I could have won. Just letting the eventuality of him blocking, like letting him block with my 7/5. But like I said, I just felt, he's going to start playing really good spells once he draws lands, so